Two men, both 54. Same dinner, pasta, garlic bread, a glass of red. One man's blood sugar peaks at 180. The other peaks at 122. Same plate, same jeans, roughly. The only difference is that one of them, 10 minutes after eating, put on his shoes and walked. Not far, not fast. Just walked. That's it. That's the whole intervention.
Welcome
to Blood Sugar Reset.
vital health
If you're a man
information
over 40
tailored
who's watched his
specifically
fasting
for men
glucose
in their
creep
prime.
up year after year, while his energy quietly drains out, this is the most important 15 minutes you'll spend today. Because walking after meals isn't gentle grammar advice. It is, gram for gram, the single most studied, lowest effort intervention we have for crushing the post-meal
As
glucose
you can see
spike.
here,
And when you
the
do it
data
the right
clearly
way,
illustrates
which
the
almost nobody
stabilization
does,
point we
you can
discussed
flatten that
regarding
spike by
metabolic rate in men
30% or
over
more
40.
inside half an hour. A
The data is
2022
trending
meta-analysis
downward.
in sports
We
medicine
need to focus
reviewed
on this
7
area.
controlled trials and found that even 2 to 5 minutes of light
Welcome to the 7
walking
trials.
after a meal
These are the
significantly
crucial steps
reduced
for optimizing
post-meal
your
blood
health
glucose
after 40,
compared to sitting.
based on
2
the
minutes,
latest scientific
the length
research.
of brushing your teeth. This is not medical advice, and it's not a replacement for medication your doctor put you on. It's a tool. And by the way, there's a specific window after eating when walking is roughly 4 times more effective than walking at any other time of day. Most men miss it by 20 minutes and wonder why nothing changes. We'll get to that. Let me show you what's actually happening inside your body every time you eat. When carbs hit your bloodstream, your pancreas dumps insulin. Insulin's job is to unlock the doors on your muscle and fat cells so glucose can come in off the street. Your cells are the warehouses. Insulin is the key card. Glucose is the inventory waiting on the loading dock. So far, so good. The problem with most men over 40 is that the locks on those warehouse doors have rusted. The insulin shows up, fumbles with the key
Sometimes we
card,
feel trapped,
and a lot of glucose
like
just
this
sits
lock
there in the
confines the
bloodstream,
door.
circling,
But breaking
cooling,
free often
slowly
starts with
caramelizing your
understanding the
arteries
mechanism.
like a creme brulee torch you didn't ask for. Here's where it gets interesting. Your muscles have a back door. A 2007 study in diabetes care confirmed that when skeletal muscle contracts, it pulls glucose out of the blood without needing insulin at all. The contraction itself moves a transporter called GLUT4 to the cell surface. No keycard required. Walking is essentially a master key that bypasses the broken locks. Every step is one more pull on the inventory pile. But here's the kicker. The window matters a lot. Glucose from a meal starts climbing about 15 minutes after the first bite and usually peaks around 60 to 90 minutes later. If you wait until you've peaked, you're trying to bail water out of a boat that's already half sunk. If you walk during the climb, you stop the climb cold. A landmark 2013 study in diabetes care by DiPietro and colleagues took pre-diabetic adults over 60 and tested 3 protocols: a single 45-minute walk in the morning, a 45-minute walk in the evening, or 3 short 15-minute walks taken 30 minutes after each meal. The short post-meal walks crushed both alternatives for 24-hour glucose control. Same total walking, wildly different results. Translation: 10 to 15 minutes after you put your fork down. That's the door. Walk through it. Now, the title says, walk like this. Let me tell you what this means. It is not a stroll. It is not a hike. You're not training for a marathon, and you're not window shopping. You're aiming for what exercise physiologists call moderate intensity, which translates to you can talk in full sentences, but you wouldn't want to sing. About 100 steps per minute. Brisk enough that a real estate agent walking a client to the car would look slow next to you. That same 2022 sports medicine analysis found that light intensity walking beats sitting, but the effect roughly doubled at moderate intensity. Pace is the multiplier. Posture matters too.
Staying
Chest
active helps
open,
manage blood sugar,
eyes
so
up,
let's keep moving.
arms
I
swinging
monitor mine with a
naturally.
meter.
Hunched over
Good,
phone
consistent
shuffle does
monitoring
not
is key to
count,
health.
no matter
Absolutely, it
what
helps
your
me
watch
plan.
says. And no, you don't need a treadmill, a track, or fancy shoes. Your driveway and the end of your street will do. So how long? Here's the part that's almost unfair. A 2016 study from the University of Otago in New Zealand had participants walk for just 10 minutes after each main meal. Their post-meal glucose dropped by 12 to 22% compared to a single 30-minute walk taken at any other time of day. 10 minutes after dinner. Think of it like this. A long walk on an empty stomach is like sweeping the warehouse floor when there's no inventory to move. A short walk after a meal is like having the entire loading dock crew show up exactly when the trucks arrive. Same labor, hundreds of times more useful. The minimum effective dose appears to be about 2 minutes. Yes, 2. But the real sweet spot for most men is 10 to 15. Anything beyond that is gravy. If you've got more time, great. If you've got 6 minutes between dinner and dessert, that's also more than nothing. Quick one. Drop a comment. Where are you watching from? And what's the one thing about blood sugar you wish somebody had explained to you 20 years sooner? I read them. Here's the trap. A lot of men hear all this and decide they'll just walk an hour every morning instead. More is better, right? Not for glucose, it isn't. Fasted morning walks are fantastic for cardiovascular health and mood. But for blood sugar specifically,
Staying fit
they're
isn't
sweeping
about
an empty
extreme
warehouse.
diets.
The trucks
It's
haven't
about
arrived.
maintaining balance,
You're burning
like a
calories
flat
your body
line
would
on your
rather you
metabolic
didn't burn at
graph.
6 a.m. on an empty
I
tank.
feel good today,
And then at 7 p.m.
ready
When
to
the
face
actual
the day
glucose tsunami rolls in
after
after
a
pasta night,
refreshing walk.
you're on the couch, digesting horizontally while your pancreas fires insulin like a panicked air traffic controller trying to land 200 planes onto one runway. A 2009 review in the Journal of Applied Physiology compared insulin sensitivity across exercise timings and concluded that post-meal movement specifically improved glucose disposal in a way pre-meal movement simply did not. Different tool, different job. Use both if you can, but don't confuse them. So here's your protocol. After every meal, breakfast, lunch, dinner, you wait 10 to 15 minutes. Then you walk briskly, talking pace, not singing pace. 10 to 15 minutes. Posture tall, arms moving. That's it. That's the whole intervention.
Your
No
body's
app,
signals
no
is the
supplement,
first step
no
to better health.
$400 continuous glucose
Consider the
monitor
pancreas.
required. Though, if you have one, this is the easiest experiment you'll ever run on yourself. Watch the curve flatten in real time. Most men in their 50s will see their post-meal peaks drop by 20 to 30% within a week of doing this consistently. Some see it the first night. Your pancreas will quietly thank you by spending less of its working life in panic mode. Tonight, after dinner, set a 15-minute timer, lace up your shoes, and walk.
Taking control
Because
of
the
my
warehouse
health
opens
requires
whether you're
daily
ready or
discipline.
not. And now, you're
It's
the one
time
with
to
the
check
master
my
key.
levels